Hello everybody, nice seeing you in Milan. So I will give you an overview of Adie's experience and business model. As Adie has been created now 25 years ago, so it's a very long-term experience. I will first start.
Tu veux que je te passe le slide?
Moi, je veux bien. With an overview of the French context, because Gian-Pietro just told us that this has a lot of impact on our institutions. So the institutional context in France is first a long time predominance of wage labor. So Adie has been long to establish and to convince of the opportunity of its mission. There is a strong welfare state culture, and so the legislative changes in the advocacy work has been the key to help people to keep their welfare revenues while creating their own business. The administrative complexity is very high. So it tends to make it an absolute need to develop business development services for the client and not only focus on microcredit delivery. We also have a very high level of social contributions for businesses. And once again, it was a need for Adie to lead legislative changes to help small businesses to get out of the grey economy. Otherwise, the people should stay informal and not create officially their businesses. And we also have a very high density of bank branches. And it's so a difficulty for Adie to get well known when the first idea the people get when they want to create their business is to go to see the banks, and when they got a bank refusal, they don't have another idea of another institution that could help them. As regards the economic context, we've got currently more than 13% of population who lives under the poverty threshold in France. We have more than 2 million households who live on welfare. We've got this minimum revenue in France. It's currently called RSA, for active solidarity revenue for people who are unemployed and they don't get anymore the unemployment allocations. We've got more than 1,500,000 employees who are considered working poor, and the unemployment rate has reached the level of 10% in 2012. And at the same time, the business creations are growing rapidly since 2009, with a new law creating a new fiscal status called self-entrepreneurs, that has been issued in 2009, and that lower the social contribution for very small businesses. So it creates a very rapid rise in business creations since that time. So we could say that from the beginning in 1989, when Adie starts its operations, Adie won its early time challenge, and now the business creation is recognized in France as a way to include economically the people, unemployed people. The market, this is the pyramid of businesses in France, and as you can see, maybe you've got very similar pyramids in your countries. The market for Adie is very wide because the base of the pyramid, the businesses with no employees at all, is a very wide market. So more than 1,700,000 businesses. This is a picture on which you can see the result of Adie's advocacy for the last 25 years. The first important law was issued in 2001, and it allowed the microcredit institution to borrow from banks or financial institutions to lend to the clients. previously it was a different system, and Adie couldn't borrow to lend. So we should go and deliver the loans through the banks or on our own funds. And as it was limited, so we couldn't have a very huge impact on the market. So this law changed everything. In 2005, we got two new laws. First, to remove, there was a cap on interest rates only for the business loans to self-employed people. If you had a huge business and not self-employed, there was no cap. If for the family loans, there was no cap, but there was a specific cap for business loans for self-employed people. And the second important law was to allow microcredit institutions to lend on to deliver family loans and not only business loans, but family loans only related to job inclusion. Okay, there was another law in 2008, and the last one in 2010. It became possible to get funds from organizations such as Kiva or equivalent, because we've got French equivalent. So to collect from individuals and not only from banks and financial institutions to on lend to clients. Okay, so this was the part about the context in which we operate, considering Adie's mission. So the context I gave you helped to highlight why we've got such a wide mission, because we've got a triple mission. The first is to finance micro-entrepreneurs. The second is also to deliver business development services to our clients, or not yet clients, but client-to-be. And the third one is to contribute to improve the legislation regarding microcredit, as we just saw, but also legislation regarding the creation of very small businesses. For example, to reduce the level of social contribution so people could get an official enterprise and not stay in the grey economy. We focus on the most excluded clients that can not have access to classical bank loans. So we work with unemployed, with people on welfare, with working poor, with micro-entrepreneurs who still don't have access to a bank loan, for example, because they are very young entrepreneurs created for not such a long time, so banks cannot deliver credit yet. We have a strong activity in the poor suburbs of the big cities. It's more than 20% of our clients, though it's not 20% of the French population living in the poor suburbs. We make a special effort to stay close to the rural area as well, because we've got many rural area with very low density of population, so we try to keep close to these clients as well. We have a strong focus on migrants. We've got 28% of our clients. We were born abroad, regardless of what is the nationality at the time they make the microcredit. And we also have been working for more than 20 years with the gypsy community. It's about 10% of our new clients every year. We work so far with the old French gypsy community. So far we didn't succeed to reach the new communities coming in France from the Eastern European countries, which is a more recent population that just arrived in France. We've got all economic activities represented, so you can see a few pictures of our clients, so tailors, street and market vendors, cooks, gardeners, and so on. So this is a view of the tools we currently use. So we deliver business microcredit and family microcredit. I gave you the figures up to September of this year. So far we deliver more than 9,000 business microcredit and more than 1,600 family microcredit. The average business loan is 3,600, and we currently have 34,000 active clients. We also propose, I will give you a brief overview afterwards, micro-insurance products for our clients. And so far, this year, more than 700 micro-insurance contracts were subscribed. And last but not least, we deliver business development services. And as you can see, it's a huge activity because until now this year, more than 12,000 persons benefited from at least one service, and more than 5,800 benefited from at least two services. A short view of every product. The business microcredits can go up to 10,000 euros. This is the limit of the French legislation. So we couldn't go further unless the law is changed. The interest rate is up to 7.76%, and we've got also an upfront fee that we charge the client, and it's 5% of the loan amount. And then through the microcredits, clients have the opportunity to access other funding, such as quasi-equity loans or grants. It's most of the time state grants or local government grants. You can see on the right-hand part the conditions. So first condition of all is no access to traditional bank loans. The second, and this is also a legislative limit, the business should be created for less than 5 years. The third condition, it's an Adie's condition, is that the total cost of the project should be above 20,000 euros. Below. You're right, below. Because we'd like to represent an important part of the project and not be diluted in a project that should total something like 1,000 or something like that. And last but not least, every client should present a co-signer for 50% of the loan amount. This is for business. For family microcredit, quite similar conditions, and this is also a legislative limit. The maximum amount of the loan is 3,000 euros, and we only finance needs regarding job inclusion. This is not for consumption goods or whatsoever. So we focus on transportation needs, such as get a driving license, or buy a car, or repair a car, in order to get access to a job, or stay in the job for working poor. Micro-insurance, we developed, this is the last product. It has been developed since 2007. So we built new products to target our clients. So there are special products you cannot find if you don't get through Adie. And they are delivered through Adie, but managed by insurance companies, of course, in two French companies called AXA and Massif. So we developed several products for businesses with, as you call, the premises and without premises. And we've got also insurance for the car. Okay, sorry, this is the only slide I couldn't translate because it's a picture. This is a brief overview of all the services that Adie created and developed for the clients. So the first part on the yellow side is the offers for non-clients before they become clients and before they start their business. And most important is this one called Créa Jeune, which is a project we held from 2007 as well. And it's a long time and collective training for young entrepreneurs under 32, from 18 to 32. And we've got the green central part is all the services delivered for people creating their jobs. So we've got a full range of services from individual to collective ones, for administrative matters from very simple difficulties to very complex, for also commercial matters, and we also created a phone hotline in 2007 for judiciary matters, and we, with the help of lawyers, working pro bono for our clients when they've got judiciary difficulties within their business, such as contracts or whatsoever. And the last part, the light green part, is for people who join Adie when they already run a business. So they are existing business and they don't need any more advice to start, but they need advice to develop. And all those services are completely free for the clients and non-clients. So we built up, for the last 25 years, an extensive network. France is divided in Adie into 15 regions, and each region is managed by a regional director. So far we've got 15 regions and 120 branches in metropolitan France and in the overseas territories of France, such as New Caledonia, French Guiana, Mayotte, Reunion Island, and so forth. We've got a national call center to set up the appointments with the clients. So we've got a phone number dedicated and which is free of charge for the client. We've got a website dedicated to clients where they could ask for a microcredit and find a wide variety of information. We've got 450 employees, and we've got also 1,300 volunteers who represent the equivalent of the workforce of nearly 300 employees. So it's a huge time they spend at Adie. And we also developed commercial campaigns where we stand on public places or commercial malls, for example, so people could know us through these campaigns. Let's get to social impact, because Gianpietro told us it was what matters. So since 1989, and I will focus on business microcredit, we disbursed more than 120,000 microcredits, and we helped to create or developed more than 90,000 businesses. To measure, we've got 3 different ways to measure our social impact at Adie. First of all, we created what we call a social and financial exclusion rating to evaluate every year how we stay close to the most excluded people. So it helps us only to compare with ourselves, but we can see if we go to less excluded people, and we can also compare regions, Adie's regions, with each other. So this is the way to measure. We stay very close to most excluded people with data we collect in our MIS, such as the level of the family budget, such as the type of allocation the people receive, if it's a single person raising kids in the family, if there is a couple, if the other person of the couple get a salary or not. We've got we've got something like, it's up to 20 different data that we combine to calculate this rating. The second way to measure the social impact, we issue a social performance indicator report every 3 years to measure if the way we are organized, the products we designed, and the method we use are coherent with the focus on the most excluded people. And this report has been constructed by a French NGO that maybe you should know. It's called Cerise, and this is a method they use on more than 500 MFIs in Europe and in developing countries. So it's a very precise tool. Third way to measure the social impact is once every 3 years we assess the sustainability of the enterprises we financed, and the job inclusion of the clients regardless of the situation of their enterprise. So this is the last digits that were just issued like one month ago. So it's the last survey, and as you can see, this is the sustainability rate of enterprises of 2 years old. And this is the digit of Adie's digit in 2010, this is Adie's digit in 2013, and this is the French national digit. So we compare our performance to the average for the business in France. The second, en arrière, camarade. The second one is the sustainability rate for the enterprise of more than 3 years. Same, the two first digits are for Adie, and the third is the national average. And the third graph is the inclusion, job inclusion of the clients, meaning that some of the clients who quit their business, we survey them, and at the time we survey, we want to know if they are job included or not. Maybe they created another business, maybe they get back to another job, salary job, or so. And you can see that there is a huge progress over the last years, because the job inclusion is currently 84%.
Sorry, when you say sustainability rate, you mean survival rate?
Yeah, yeah, that's it, survival. So this is for the social impact. So we can get on to the business model. I will give you an overview of the business model for credit funds, and then the business model for operating expense. How many minutes?
No.
3? Okay. So as regards the credit funds, Adie received the agreement to borrow from banks and financial institutions. So you can see on this graph the market share of banks in our portfolio. And as you can see, we've got a wide variety of banks that have a part of in our portfolio. So it's very small size. Maybe you cannot read it.
Names of banks, because we cannot see from here.
Yeah. So ils n'ont pas dans leur présentation. So you've got all French major banks, and I guess you've got it in your documents. Okay, on avance. Second important matter as regard the business model for credit funds, Adie built up an extensive scheme to guarantee the loan, thanks to French national devices and to banks. And as you can see, at the end, this is the figure for at the end of 2012. So the bank here take a part of the final risk on each of the microcredit we deliver on their funds, and this is important. And you've got this huge part on the right-hand side. This is it's called FGIE. It's a French national device. And we also have, of course, European Investment Fund, and we will be a major partner in the future years because we just signed a new guarantee scheme contract. So Adie's share at the end, Adie's share on the total risk, the risk exposure, is only 13%. 13. Okay. Business model for, this is the last part. Business model for operating expenses. So Adie's model rely on the workforce of the volunteers, as I just told you, so to keep the operating expenses low. And on the revenue side, we've got a mixed model that relies both on subsidies and financial income from microcredits. So if we take a look at the subsidies, we've got a very wide range of different donors that help to secure the scheme. So you can see the most important share comes from local governments. So it's more this, the total subsidies we receive each year come from 1,000 different contracts. So it's a huge work to manage. Adie has built every 3-year strategic plans. So we built the last one, it was in 2011. The objective of the current strategic plan is to increase productivity in order to increase the financial margin. So the expectation for 2014 is to cover, as you can calculate on this data, is to cover 25% of operating expenses through the financial margin. Okay, and you can see that it's not the trend. 2013 is a very interesting trend as regards the loan amount and the outstanding capital that produce financial revenues.
Okay. Thank you.